interest rates so low, investors have turned to the equity markets, and we've seen IPOs, respond in kind. And you've seen, for example, the Nasdaq 100 double in value last year on the back of all these IPOs. So we see at the moment no real reason why that's not going to continue into 2021.
Do valuations concern you? Because that's the all-important question with these new listings. And do you think that all that talk about there being a bubble risk in this market, could that come to the fore?
Look, there's obviously the potential for a bubble and overvaluation when you've seen such a dramatic rise in prices. But I mean, for example, look at Bilibili, up from $85 to $105 just this week on news of its increased likely Hong Kong secondary listing. But it's very much driven by fundamentals. They announced numbers in November that showed very high growth in subscribers, in paying subscribers, in total volumes, and so on. So whilst I think there are some concerns over valuations, we've seen SPACs, for example, in the U.S. Deliver quite high valuations, but the highest valuations have been from the SPACs that have actually gone on to invest. So they are buoyed by real earnings and real physical assets.
John, hi, this is Christine. Out here in Asia, I mean, we're hearing all these delisting rules coming out. NYSE, U-turning again after that reversal. So I'm just wondering, what is the interest now when you look at Chinese companies? Are they going to shun the U.S. markets and take a more realistic route, which is maybe less closer to home?
Look, Christine, I think that's a really good question. Obviously, you've got the twin drivers in the US, which is the Holding Foreign Companies Accountable Act, which is quite an interesting name for a piece of legislation, which has driven quite a lot of Chinese companies to look at getting secondary listings in Hong Kong because of concerns over potential delisting if they fail to meet those new US auditing rules for 3 years in a row. But this is all to China's benefit because these companies will be, doing a secondary listing in Hong Kong, and if they do get delisted in the US, then international investors will be able to access these companies through their Hong Kong listings. The other angle, which is the move specifically to ban investment in China Unicom and so on, and now talk of extending that to Alibaba and Tencent. Again, is a bit worrying. But again, it's if it does happen, then undoubtedly it will benefit the Hong Kong listings of these companies. Although there will be an initial price drop, as we're seeing here, as people are nervous about whether US investors will just not come back to the stocks in future.